Sup? Yes, I'm finally here. I'm finally making part 2. Sorry for the wait. I was gonna make this video, like, I was planning on releasing it 2 weeks ago. And then I left for a vacation and I didn't have enough time to finish editing it. So then, once I got back, then I realized that, wait, the footage I had made was too long, so now I'm re-recording it, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, sorry for the wait, guys. I'm gonna just hop right into the video. I don't want to waste much of your time. Do you want your time wasted? No. Time is money. So, what else do I have to say? Nothing. Okay, let's jump right into it. So, at number 11 is Tower of Traps. And you guys might be asking, yo, wasn't Tower of Traps just, like, revamped very recently? Because, I actually, so, back when I recorded it, this hadn't been revamped, so I put it in last place. And I'm gonna keep it in last place. And I'm gonna tell you why. So, the original Tower of Traps, you know, it was a bunch of unindicated hell, just, you know, traps left and right. You're pretty much paranoid for the entirety of this tower, and you, like, literally need a guide for it. That's just how it is. Nobody beats this without a guide, and that's kind of bad. This is, like, a terrible tower. But, for the revamp, the problem I have with the revamp is that, they do indicate things, which is cool, you know, it's a lot better with the indication. But along with the indication, they doubled the number of traps and made it so that the indications pretty much don't matter because there's so many traps that you might not see the indication in time. And then it's like, bruh, like, the indications don't even help because it's pretty much still as cancerous as possible. One problem I have with, like, the whole light synth, like, revamping things is that whenever he fixes one problem, then he thinks, okay, now it's too easy, so I'm gonna buff the heck out of this, and I'm gonna, like, add a new problem, and then it just ends up being the same as it was before, just as bad. I don't think this was improved, like, at all. So, yeah. Tower of Traps is still one of the worst towers I've ever seen. I don't like this tower at all. There are ways to do trap towers well, like Tower of Insult to Injury. This tower just does it all wrong. So, yeah. At number 10 is Tower of Cold Hands, and honestly, this probably isn't as, like, trash as other towers. The problem I have with it is how just really bland it is. Like, I mean, just if you look up, it just looks like the most plain thing made by some 10-year-old on the internet, that kind of tower. And I know that sounds really blunt, but there aren't that many towers that are on this level of plainness, if you know what I'm saying. I do like this part. I think that the loop around is cool. It gives you some like mild stress and a nice view. But overall, this tower is just like one of the most meh things in the game. And there's also I think that this would be a lot higher on the list if it weren't for this part here. There are these really dumb wedges here that raise it from, like, medium or something. Not medium, I'm exaggerating. But this element here alone, like, makes it jump a difficulty, and it's higher difficulty for me, because that is absolutely trash. Like, pretty much if you pass this, you have like a 50% chance of beating the tower. That's how bad this part alone is. But, yeah, besides the spike, this is like the Tower of Rage of Ring 2, where it's like just 1 or 2 parts that make it cancer. But besides that, it's fine. It's like a tower or whatever. So, yeah, number 10. At number 9 is Tower of Falling and Failing. So honestly, when it comes to the quality itself, I think this tower doesn't have, like, this tower probably would be below Tower of Cold Hands. Like, it is a very bad tower. There's, you know, let's see, what's bad about it? It spams kill bricks, like, it's like a normal brick. That's how much it spams it, to the point where you have to heal half the time. It invented GBJs, so, you're welcome, I guess, quote, Tower of Falling and Failing. What am I talking about? But there's a GBJ on, like, every floor. That's how many GBJs there are. And it's just there are even traps over GBJs, and you can look at this tower. You can just see how bad it looks. It's really ugly in general. The good things about it though is that so yeah, they invented GBJs, which I guess in some cases GBJs can be fine, but I don't. There isn't much reason for them besides being mean. But this tower is also the first descending tower, and if you think about the fact that descending wasn't a thing back then, you can realize how creative this tower was for its time. And like, if it weren't for this tower, we may have never even gone into the whole wacky frame concept. Like, that's how much of a revolution this tower probably was. So yeah, I think that for that alone, this tower deserves to be above TOCH because of its creativity, but it's pretty much got bad gameplay in general. It's just not the best. So yeah, number 9. This is an unpopular opinion, and some of you might kind of hate me for this, but Tower of Deep Darkness is at number 8. I'm not really a fan of Deep Darkness. Like, I think the idea of the tower is really cool. You know, it's like, it gets darker and darker and you get lost. But the problem with getting lost is then you don't know how to beat it. I'm looking at you, forest and sewer part and the maze after that, whatever. This tower is like a nightmare to play through without a guide, just like Tower of Traps. And the tower crossing is also pretty bad. You know why? Because this ring in general is bad. Yeah, I said it. I actually, you know, I'll agree with me, that doesn't really matter. But yeah, this tower decides to have a tower crossing with like the whole ring, and then like they pick all the bad floors, which I find really funny, just how bad everything is. Whatever. Compared to the rest of the ring, this is like definitely a unique experience, but this was like, I was in EO before I beat this tower. I don't know, I don't have much reason to hate it, I just don't like it. It's one of those towers for me. But yeah, number 8. At number 7 is Tower of Overcoming Hatred. And this is a very interesting one. Normally, I think this tower would be next to Tower of Cold Hands on the list. Like, this tower is pretty bad. At least the gameplay isn't horrible. Like, it's playable. You know, it's alright. But it's a nice tower. You know, nice towers, they're not the best. The cylinders at the start look cool, but it's also a bad example of a tower that gets more and more rushed as it goes up. Like, this, they just forget about the cylinders and are like, fine, let's just finish the tower. And there's also, like, these couple floors here are like half the length of the tower, which is pretty lame. Like, you feel like you aren't progressing at all. However, the reason this is placed so high is because NiCE decided that you can skip half of it with a single dance clip. I just got a very loud notification sound in the background, doesn't matter. But like, you can skip half the tower. Who does that? NiCE literally was like, bro, I get it, my tower's bad. If you don't want to play the whole thing, you don't have to. And that is like, that alone bumps it up like halfway up the list. And I know that Tower of Annoyingly Simple Trials has skips like that and it was still very low, but this skip is like probably the biggest intentional skip in all of JTO, and that is something I'm very thankful for. Like, it goes from a 20-minute tower to a 3-minute tower, and that's awesome. So yeah, it's at number 7. Still kind of bad, but whatever. It's forgiving. If I were to describe Tower of Shattered Dreams compared to Ring 1, I'd say it was like the Tower of Stress of Ring 1. Like, it's the very mediocre tower that doesn't have anything particularly special about it, but at least it's not hot garbage like a lot of other towers. I think the atmosphere and the soundtrack of the tower is really cool. I think the gradient for Ring 2 standards looks really nice. And the gameplay is also pretty consistent. It used to have a gameplay star, and for Ring 2 standards, I think it deserves it, just because it's playable. It's not trap spam. There are a couple jumps I don't like. For example, these conveyors onto this truss, it can be very inconsistent. Like, notice how I'm not able to stay on the same side every time I jump to it. And there's also 7 outside is a spike because of those sphere jumps. If I go over there, there's the first sphere jump. You can fail it like that, and I know a lot of people don't like this jump. If you pass that jump, this tower's fine. And the unindicated conveyors, you can at least tell what they are by their shape, so it's no big deal. Overall, I think, yeah, this is the middle of the road tower for me. It's alright. At number 5 is... I'm just, give me a sec, I'm gonna just get over to it. There it is, maybe a tower. I don't know why the heck they made it take so long to get to it, but whatever, man. You know, just like not even a tower, this is a pretty fun brief challenge. It's definitely on the easy side. It's an easy difficulty. It used to be medium, just like not even a tower, and they were both moved down for obvious reasons. The reason that it isn't ranked as high as not even a tower, though, is because it's just not as memorable to me. Like, not even a tower has this iconic vibe going on, and maybe a tower, it's just got really normal plank platforms as well as a clone of the toast gradient. And the highlight of it is a long tightrope, which I suppose is really cool when it goes over the waterfall, but there just isn't anything special about this tower. It doesn't feel like the same as not even a tower. So I just thought I'd rank it a bit lower because I don't like it as much. But it is a nice replayable thing, and it's also the easiest thing here by far, the next easiest tower being Overcoming Hatred, which is awful, by the way. I'll get to that later. But yeah, this is number 5. At number 4 is Tower of Eternal Suffering, and this is actually surprisingly similar to Tower of True Skill. It's got a pretty boring gradient. Its atmosphere is very mediocre, but the soundtrack kind of matches, but the atmosphere, I don't like it very much. However, the gameplay is pretty nice. It's consistent, it's fun, it's straight to the point. And it uses kill bricks surprisingly well. Like, this tower uses kill bricks better than a lot of modern towers, which is saying something. I do think that, so this part is kind of infamous. Floor 8, it's got a pretty big spike. For example, this 12 stud jump. It's got a 12 stud jump. That is pretty bad. But, you know, this tower overall, it succeeds to be stressful at the end too. That's pretty cool. And if you want to know what this tower feels like, this is by the same creator as Tower of Frightening Nightmares, which is one of my favorite soul crushings. This is like the easier Frightening Nightmares. And yeah, what's funny is that one fun fact, this was my 100th tower, and Frightening Nightmares was my 99th, which is really stupid, but haha, whatever. Anyway, I think that this is still kind of mediocre, but it's, you know, it's a good starter Remorseless. So yeah, number 4. This is another unpopular opinion. Number 3 is Tower of Difficulty chart, and I will say that the original difficulty chart was probably worthy of being last place. Well, okay, maybe second last behind Tower of Traps, but yeah, that tower was really bad, and I think that Tower of Difficulty chart, the revamp, in my opinion, it was a really good improvement. I find the tower really fun, specifically on the soul crushing floors, because if you remember the original soul crushing floors, that was just small platform spam, conveyor, wall hopping, and that wasn't great. But in the terrifying floor, for example, there's some really nice trust gameplay. This is very satisfying to pull off, and you know, some nice wraparounds. Like, that part I find really fun. There are I've heard a lot of people hate on the conveyors, but you've seen Tower of High Adrenaline and how I like conveyors. I'm good at conveyors, so for me it's not a very big issue. But I can understand people hating the conveyors. Like, the Remorseless ones, I believe, are the worst ones. Like, watch. Okay, whatever. I'm being really bad at them right now. I usually am very consistent on them. I think this tower is perfectly fine. And there's also a safety net, which is very nice. So yeah, this is number 3 for me. At number 2 is Tower of Table Flipping. I'd say that this is the fun Tower of the Ring. It's a really great, intense tower. This looks a lot like Cold Hands, but it's kind of just the fun version, the fun, harder version of Cold Hands. I don't know if that makes much sense to call it that, but the gameplay in this is just a lot more fun than a lot of towers in this ring. I'm pretty sure this tower used to have a gameplay star. Yeah, I don't think there's many actual highlights of this tower. There is like this ladder part with the diagonal ladders. This is very satisfying. One part I don't really like is floor 9, where there's like the really thin platforms here for no reason really, except that, hey, it's hard, guys. This is the finale. You're supposed to be stressed. But it does work for a tower that's supposed to be stressful at the end. It's alright. There's nothing horrible about this tower. Like, the fact that this is number 2 isn't the best thing about this ring. Like, in a better ring, this would probably be a middle of the road tower, but I still find it pretty fun. So, yeah. I'm kind of not sure whether to make this number 2 or TODC, but this is probably more fun for more people. So, yeah, number 2. And now for the number 1 spot. I bet you guys hate me because this is my favorite Citadel right now. It's Citadel of Wacky Strategy, and it's kind of redundant that this and COLS are number 1 for their rings, but I just had a great time in this Citadel. Like, it's the definition, you know, it's just like a COLS. It's like a long journey. It's fun and it's intense. I know that a lot of people hate this because it's a lot harder and longer. Like, this is not easy to beat. It's 25 floors and it's nearly soul crushing, which is not supposed to be what a Citadel's like. For me though, I've beaten a kata. Like, for my skill level, this is fun. I can understand people not liking this who are at remorseless difficulty. Like, if your hardest is like eternal suffering, no, you're not going to enjoy the Citadel. That is ridiculous to jump to this next. I highly recommend being like an EO who's beaten a lot of soul crushings before playing this, because this is a challenge, okay? But overall, I found it fun personally, and yeah, like, you kind of have to be at my skill level for this to be fun, is all I'm saying. Like, this is very punishing. But yeah, for normal people, I've seen a lot of the staff members say that this is like a last place thing. This is one of the worst things in Ring 2. This is like, yeah, some people just were not happy this got in as the Ring 2 Citadel. I think it's fine because of me, but whatever. Yeah, for me, it's number 1. If I were to summarize Ring 2, I'd say that this tower is this is the lowest quality ring in the game. I'm sorry, this ring is horrible. I'd rate it like, I would have rated it probably a 3 out of 10, but since TODC Classic was replaced with a better TODC, and since Cows was added, for me it's a 4.5 now, but that is still not great. What I think could be done is, so I've noticed, yeah, sure, Tower of Traps did get a revamp, a minor revamp to get improvements. I don't think that helped very much. What I think is needed the most in Ring 2 is probably an easy tower. And there used to be Tower of 1 equals 0, which personally, I would have placed that at number 4. That's how much I liked that tower. So I like that more than Tora Graceful Hobo. I'm sorry, but I think it would match this ring great. Graceful Hobo wanted that tower removed, and I don't think it should have been removed, personally. But yeah, there was also a competition for an easier tower to be added to Ring 2, and you know why they canceled it? Because Ring 2 has a delicate environment that must be maintained. Meanwhile, they had Citadels such as, let's see, they added Citadel of Wacky Strategy and Tower of Difficulty chart. So by now, I think we've waited long enough. There should be a medium difficulty in this ring. Honestly, this is a beginner's ring, and to have them get slapped in the face when they progress from ring 1 is horrible. There's a reason not many people progress in the game. That's just my opinion. I think Forgotten Ridge has helped a lot, but if I were to progress in the game from the starting point, I would skip ring 2 entirely, and that is not a good sign. In my opinion, this is the worst ring in the game, just because it halts your progression as a starter. So, yeah. Tell me what you guys think. Just remember, this is my opinion. Don't be too controversial about it. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think is bad? Do you think Citadel of Wacky Strategy is the worst thing? That's alright. Share your opinion. I'm going to put some stats on the screen for my opinion. And also, something I'm going to add is I'm going to add what towers I think are bad, mediocre, and good right here. These statistics right here. And I'm also going to put them for ring 1 because I didn't do that for ring 1. But this is the general categorization I would put these towers in. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did making it after multiple attempts. I'll see you later.